Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Alright, so today we're going to talk about drugs. Okay, so I'm kind of kidding, but kind of are going to talk about, it's part of it. So what we're really going to talk about is we're going to talk about addictions. There's a reason why. And the reason is because most of us are addicted to one thing or another, or have been at one time in our lives. Some it might be approval. Some it might be a need for someone to love us, someone to fix us. A lot of people get hooked on drugs, alcohol, etc., etc. So regardless of what you got hooked on, whether it's caffeine, workaholic, sexaholic, seriously, I'm not joking. Probably the best addiction is probably sexaholic, yeah. So this might be the shortest video ever, I don't know. Let's see what happens here. So here's the deal. There's one single thing that I want to talk about. Whatever addiction you have, that is not the problem. You thought it was though, huh? So here's the deal. Human beings have a lot of shame, have a lot of fear, a lot of guilt, have a lot of... could be doubt, it could be anxiety. A lot of it's anxiety, panic attacks and stuff like that. So how do we deal with negative emotions? Most people, well actually no, I don't want to use that word. I don't want to say most. I'm just say some people deal with their emotional issues with drugs. Okay? Because why? Because they want to escape that horrible feeling of shame or guilt or whatever it is for you. Alright, I remember there was this girl, her name was Kelly. She was kind of a country girl, lived in Dixon, and I think we met in junior college if I remember right, because otherwise I have no idea where we met, but we dated for a short period of time. And I don't know why. We actually liked each other, we got along. I think she wasn't physically my type. But as a person, she was funny. She was a really cool girl to be with. So we went inside, talked to her mom and dad for a little while, and we came outside, and she kind of had they had about 5, 6, 7 steps that went up to their door, is what I remember. Remember, we came out, we were on the top level, maybe 1 or 2 steps down, and she had a neighbor across the street, pulled up in a pickup truck. Now, Dixon's kind of a country, it's kind of Vacaville, Dixon, that whole area is kind of country. And he pulls up in his big 4x4, has boots on, and Kelly was wearing her cowboy boots too. And he kind of said, hey Kelly. And she's like, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. He's, oh, I'm good. And it's kind of gruff, kind of closed in. And he went into the house and I was, wow, he's kind of upset or angry. And she's, no, he's not an angry person. He looks like it. Actually, her voice wasn't that gruff, actually. So, anyway, so here's what she told me. She goes, what's funny? When he drinks, he is so happy. He smiles from ear to ear and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah. In fact, the sad part is the only time he smiles is when he's drunk. And so, no, here's how she starts. She goes, oh, he's a happy drunk. I'm like, really? Because I think I may have said, I bet when he gets drunk, he's an angry drunk. She goes, no. He's a happy drunk every time. I've known him since we were kids. I'm like, really? I go, that's interesting. Now, here's the reason why I'm bringing up this story, is because what ended up happening, now there's some people who are the opposite. They're very happy people in public, but when they get drunk, they're all of a sudden like this other person, like the opposite, like this very angry person comes out. Alright, so here's the deal. So obviously what the alcohol does, it allows the real person inside to come out. So the first guy, he probably had someone in his life, maybe his father, whatever, that didn't allow him to be happy. So a lot of people use alcohol and drugs as what we call, hold on, let me stop this for a second. It's like a pass or like a permit, like a hallway pass, like the teacher gives you, a hallway pass to go to the bathroom. It's like people will use drugs and alcohol because it's a permission slip. It's a permission slip to be who you really are. And a lot of people go up on stage for stage hypnosis because it allows them to be who they want to be. It's like there's no restrictions, and like a lot of us are kind of kind of held inside, and we hold back because of shame and embarrassment, because we were punished as kids, or somebody humiliated us, or whatever. Now, other people, when they have drug addictions, etc., or they overwork or whatever, is there's some kind of humiliation or pain or embarrassment, or it could be just unbelievably sadness, or like an unbelievable emptiness inside. So here's the whole purpose of this video. A lot of you will go to the 12-step programs, and those, they're fine. They're really good at keeping people on track, off the alcohol and drugs, etc. In fact, it's probably one of the best programs around. Now, I haven't really looked into that scene because I've never needed it. What I'm trying to share with you is this. The challenge is this. When you so here's the deal. So it's not the cigarettes, because like I can do what we call stop cigarette smoking. I'm a hypnotherapist. I can do like the lose weight thing and all that stuff, right? But here's one thing that they pointed out in our training, like right away, like, hey, here's the problem. You might get them to stop smoking, but if you don't get to the root cause of what's causing that, it's going to come out somewhere else. It's like roots, right? And it's a plant. So you might pick this one branch off, but then another one comes up on the left side, another one comes off on the right side. But when you get to the root, the core cause of what it is, boom, it's gone. And you'll also notice other patterns, other things that were negative. Maybe it could have been negative thinking, could have been overweight, but all these other things start to go away or just automatically disappear. Like maybe they didn't eat right or this or that. Here's the deal. It's not the cigarettes. It's not the alcohol. It's not the drugs. That is really not the problem. I can hear some of you saying, tell that to tell that to the judge. So here's the deal. So ultimately what you really need to do is find out what is hurting you in one way or another, okay? So once you can heal that, and I'm going to go into something else. I'm actually going to go to something kind of cool right now, something I realized just the other day at my barber's. But when you get to the root cause of what that emotion is, because a lot of people, like, they have so much shame, so much anger, so much fear, so much humiliation that they're like, they will do anything to get rid of that. So every time it comes up, they turn to the bottle, they turn to the smoke, they turn to the whatever, right? Now, so I've got my barber, and the guy that works next to him, he's a really cool dude. These are both Latin dudes, right? Well, the guy that works next to him, he looks like my stepdad. Like, same square jaw, same mustache, same dark skin. My stepdad, I always thought he was a white guy, but he might have been Hispanic too. I'm not sure. God, I'd love to find that out. So, no, because his brother, he was just pure white. So no, he just had dark skin. No, he might have had Indian in him. So anyway, so these guys look the same. So we were talking about this, like, I got my hair cut and I was just hanging out. And I think he started talking about alcohol and how it's horrible being an alcoholic, etc., right? And how hard it is for people to stop, and the 12-step programs, etc. But here's the thing. So he was like, oh yeah, I was an alcoholic. Oh yeah, I had major problems for a long, long time. And I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, okay. And so then he goes, what happened was I forget if he got really sick and he had to go to the hospital, but something happened where he had to go to the doctor. And I don't know if it was his heart or his liver, but something was going out. And the doctor says, look, you have to stop right now because you're going to die from this. Now I'm thinking he must have had one hell of a battle. Lots of motivation, but one hell. He goes, no. He goes, I stopped immediately. He goes, I haven't touched a drop since. I'm like, wait, what? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, I took it really seriously. So here's what happened. I realized something as I go, are you joking? You didn't? He goes, no. He goes, I haven't touched it. I think he said it was 12 years. I forget. It could have been 15, but it was a long time. He goes, oh no, I haven't touched it. I'm like, awesome, dude. So the funny thing about it is this guy is a really happy dude. Just everyday happy, right? He reminds me of me. And so what I realized was like, oh, you actually didn't have an addiction. He goes, well, what do you mean? He goes, I know I had a problem. I was like, no, you didn't. He goes, what do you mean? I go, dude. Here's what happened. When you started drinking, you didn't do it because you were running away from your problems. You didn't do it because you were depressed or because you had anxiety. He goes, okay, what do you mean? I go, you did it because it was like in high school. Hey, man, it's Friday night. Let's go get drunk, guys, and have fun. And he starts to laugh. He says, oh, yeah, man, those were good times, good times. He had a very strong Hispanic accent, so I can't quite do that. But the thing about it was to him, alcohol was not an escape tool. For him, it was just something he did when we went out to go have fun. But it wasn't something that he needed to have fun, because right now he's happy every freaking day. He's laughing, cracking up. So alcohol was just kind of like, you know, when you go to church, you do the little, what's that little thing they put on your tongue, little not biscuit, but you know what I'm talking about. It's not like it's an addiction, like he had to do it, and it was necessary for him to be happy. It was just something that was part of the whole thing, and he never really thought about it. So here's the deal. For those of you who are stuck, okay, so all you need to do is get emotional freedom. When you get emotional freedom, okay, so for a lot of you who were dealing with narcissist abuse and you didn't know it, like I didn't know it until 3 or 4 years ago, like I knew what to look out for, like some of the things, but man, 3-4 years, like holy shit, like it just boom, 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 like I saw it and I started watching videos, etc., like all of you, right? It was like, lo and behold, the curtain was opened and you could see behind the curtain, you saw the Wizard of Oz, and the game, the jig was up. Now, depending on where you're at in this journey, some of you might be feeling a lot more freer now than you ever have in your life. And if you're not, you're getting there. This awareness of what was going on may have already healed your addiction. Alright, you want to know what the challenge of being on the planet is, being a human? It's getting to emotional freedom. Believe it or not, but you got yourself stuck in this box. The whole idea is to completely and totally let go. And the walls of the box will completely fall down and your emotional freedom expands all the way out. It is a wonderful place to be, a wonderful place to live. It is, I can't really put it into words, but clients of mine who've experienced it, like, oh, like, you know what? I got a video of it. Hold on. All right, let me set this up first. So essentially, I'm going to show you Adam first. And you've probably seen this video, but there's another video of a Benev I'm going to try to find. But he's so quiet, you can barely hear him. But let me see if I can find that one. I don't know where it's at, but give me a minute. So here's what's going on. You may not realize it, but you're holding on. And you've been holding on, like you've been focused with your forehead and your brain and your hands, and everything is like when you learn to let go, your awareness expands all the way out. But you don't do it consciously. It's like a helium balloon. You let it go, everything just expands out, and you're just like free. Like your lungs relax, your gut relax. You can just breathe without even trying. Like everything is free, and all of your worries go away. All right, so here we go. Look at this chart from my course, Cracked Female Code. Where do you think anxiety, fear, panic, stress, where do you think that is on this chart? At the very top or at the very bottom where the 2 points come together becoming one, like very narrow point? And also shame and humiliation, where do you think they are? And where do you think total emotional freedom is? So at the very pinpoint is where all your fears, anxiety, panic attacks, stress, shame, humiliation, guilt, all that stuff, belittling. Now at the top is the open, where your brain and your eyes and your ears are wide open. This is emotional freedom. This is where you can breathe and relax. Now think of it like this. When you're looking at the carpet, it just looks like a beautiful carpet. But when you get down on your knees and you go really, really far down, you see one little tiny, let's say you're looking under a magnifying glass and this little speck of dirt. Oh my God, my carpet's so dirty. Call the dirt doctor or call the carpet doctor. You're all freaked out, right? Because you think it's all dirty. But when you pull back and you pull away, you're like, oh, it's just a tiny little speck. Now here's what narcissists do to your brain. They get you at the tip of this, so you're totally focused on every little detail just like they are. And that's why they're so miserable, because this is the part of the brain that negates everything and puts you in a negative state of mind. So narcissists, they believe by being here that they're going to feel safe and they're going to basically control the anxiety and fear. And that's what they're trying to do. So, okay, where do you, I kind of already gave it away. Where do you think control is on this chart, and where do you think letting go is on this chart? Yep, control is at the tip, the little point at the bottom, specific details, and emotional freedom and letting go is up at the top. Now let me tell you something about, okay, so the top, if I turn this triangle or whatever you want to call it, this funnel to the right, where the open is to the right and the point at the bottom is at the left. So that would represent the left brain. So the bottom of this represents the left brain. The left brain is about rules, structure, and organization, okay? Now, what do you think a 12-step program is about? Now, I'm not knocking them because they're really good for people who are totally out of control, okay? This is where we get structure. Now, the left brain is not a bad brain because the left brain's also, like I said, rules, structure, and organization, okay? So here's the really weird challenge. Is the addiction is also at the point at the very bottom of this. So on the one hand, you're going to this 12-step program, which is all about structure to the very detail. They got all these rules, all these structures, and all these things you got to do. It's like you trapped yourself in the box with the addiction, and it's like you're fighting it all the time because that's where you're at, okay? So I think in the beginning, it's really, really good to go to these programs to really get things under control. But until you truly let go of the root cause of the problem, you're always going to have the addiction, even if you've never touched a drug, even if you haven't touched a drug or alcohol in 12 years. Now let's go back to the barber. Was he really addicted? No. He never fights. Even my barber, now my barber, he's having a problem with that. And he just flat out said, he goes, honestly, dude, that guy, he doesn't have to fight. He goes, I have to fight it every day. I'm like, that's because you haven't gotten to the root cause of it. And you haven't learned how to completely let go. So it's kind of funny because where do you think you heal on this chart? Yep, at the wide end, at the top. That's how you heal your issues. And the damage is done at the bottom. Now, in my course for men, Crack the Female Code, the #1 goal is to open them up to the right brain, because the modern male is completely disconnected from the right brain, because everything's about technology, money, taxes, rules. These are all left brain processes. Math, business, science, it's all left brain. So the modern male is stuck, okay? So the goal is to open up to the right brain, because the right brain is the social brain. It's the relationship. It's a brain where you just let go and you're relaxed. See, when you go to a party or club, people do not want you to come in there Mr. Logical. I'm Mr. Logical. Got to follow the rules. You're not following the rules. You know, you're not being logical. It's like, dude, shut the F up and have a drink. Just chill out, because that's why we're here, because we all have corporate jobs. We all work our ass off. We're all stuck in a logical brain all day long. We come here to let go of that, because that's actually very healthy. It's a very healthy thing to learn how to let go and open up and connect emotionally, so you can be emotionally grounded. Now, ladies, I know you heard that phrase, emotionally grounded, and you like it, and you actually understand what it means too. Did you know that men have no clue what that phrase means? And they'll say, oh yeah, I do. And they'll say, okay, go ahead and describe it, man. No clue. I've been teaching this to men for I'd say over 30 years now. None of my clients, as educated they are, even if they're yoga instructors or whatever they do, when I explain it and break it down, and then when I take them there, they're like, wow, this feels good. Like, yeah. The reason why I teach this to men is because it opens him up to the emotional relationship brain, so he can connect with you emotionally. And really, it's teaching him to learn how to open up to himself, so he can connect with himself inside emotionally. So now you can connect with him, the real person, on the inside emotionally. That is 1/3 part of my course, Crack the Female Code. And when a man is in this space, he's really, really relaxed and he's feeling good. And here's the thing. When a man is in that space, she can feel those same feelings, and now she can relax and just melt into your arms. This is what women like. Ladies, do you concur? That means, do you agree? And now another third of the course is communication. Now, what most men don't know is the female mating system is connected to her right brain's communication center, which means, guys, there's a certain hidden right brain language that melts a woman's heart and turns her on. And I'm going to give you 2 phrases, ladies. What I do is I teach men how to speak the internal, mentally stimulating, and emotionally fulfilling language for a more meaningful connection through communication. Maybe I should say meaningful communication. How's that sound? Alright, so here's the deal. This isn't theory. This isn't something that I just... I'm switching back to the addiction thing, okay? So this isn't just theory. This is something I've been working with people for many, many years, okay? Now, there's a video of Adam that's going to explain what happens when I did energy healing on him. It's total, complete emotional freedom. All those addictions... puff, gone.
It was more like, wow, I feel good, like just serenity, feeling good, feeling peaceful, feeling comfortable, but also like feeling strong, recharged, and it was amazing. It was amazing contrast. And the other thing, like Mike said, is he's in California, I'm in the UK. I was like, how the hell do you do that? And so I've had energy healing before, and I get that it could be remote, but this was like potent. I've had energy healing before where I felt relaxed and I felt influence and stuff, but this was like on another level. This was like I got knocked the hell out. I woke up really peaceful.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out is the way, because we obviously spoke about this before. He had mentioned, like, it's like I just got up. It wasn't a battle. It wasn't this conflicting, okay, get enthusiastic, get out of bed. It was just like, wow. It's like, because most people have the brakes on to life. Most people don't want to get out of bed. They don't want to go to work. They don't want to face their day. They don't want to deal with people, because most people are like in this stuck kind of like forehead kind of stuck, what I call stuck energy. And what happened was I opened up his energy. This is what I did. I opened up, I'm going to use I don't want to use too technical terms, but I basically opened up his energy field. So there was no resistance. So now you're like, well, just get out of bed. Like, oh, okay. Like it was easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was very peaceful, very relaxed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like, just an amazing feeling. Yeah, it was good. Now, like I said, this morning when I had that healing session, I felt like new, like a kid again. Like,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just refreshed, new. I felt like I was 17 again, but it's funny, I've got a lot of reference to being a kid because it was this energy and enthusiasm and almost like an innocence about me that I'd reclaimed, and it wasn't being lost in my sort of chaotic ways of today, I guess, adult life and stuff that we do.
Okay, so this is where Jesus says, I tell you the truth, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. So let's go back over what Adam just said. So first of all, what I'm doing is I'm opening people up to the spiritual side. I'm opening them up to the right brain, which is the emotional, spiritual, creative brain, which is the brain which is childlike, it's playful, it's fun, it's free. So at this point, if you've been following my videos for the last 2 or 3 months or more, I think you're starting to realize I'm actually doing the work of God. I'm doing the work of Jesus. I don't mean I'm doing Jesus's work, but I'm doing the same work that he had passed down to his disciples.
Feeling, yeah, it's good. Now, like I said, this morning when I had that healing session, I felt like new, like a kid again. Like,
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, just refreshed, new. I felt like I was 17 again, but it's funny. I've got a lot of reference to being a kid because it was this energy and enthusiasm and almost like an innocence about me that I'd reclaimed, and it wasn't being lost in my sort of chaotic ways of today. I guess adult life and stuff that we do.
Now, another thing that Adam shared with me that blew my mind, and it's not something we worked on ever. And remember, this is we've only done that one energy healing session. Adam immediately stopped drinking coffee, black tea, energy pills, energy drinks, which he's been doing for a long time. Okay, when you woke up in the morning, how many cups of coffee did you normally have? About.
So when I was working with, before that energy healing session, I was on a pattern of having like double shot espressos in the morning, and I needed it. It was an addiction. It was like an absolute, like, it wasn't like I could take it or leave it. I absolutely had to have it. And that morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, I don't want to. I literally remember, I was like, I don't want to ruin this energy. This energy is so nice. I felt so good that it was like, I was scared of even eating at one point. I was like, I wanted to eat clean and just nothing to aggravate my mood, my vibe. 'Cause it felt really good.
Yeah. And so I don't know if you've ever tried to stop doing caffeine before, but I've heard stories of people who drink coffee every day for years, and it's like literally after 4 or 5 days, they are just, their stomach's dying. They're some people get burning needles in their legs, like their body physically hurts. They get headaches. Have you ever heard any of this stuff?
Yeah, so I've quit caffeine before, but it's taken me a lot of willpower, a lot of time. It's taken me up to 6 months sometimes to say I'm going to quit it. It's really difficult, and I've had headaches. I felt boring, like something's changed my personality, stuff like that. Really weird stuff. And like I said, this morning when I had that healing session, I felt like new, like a kid again.
Alright folks, so that's it for today. I think this video's gone too long, and I think you got the message loud and clear. You can absolutely heal your addictions when you get to the root of what's going on. One thing I want to point out again and emphasize, a lot of you, the reason why you were addicted to drugs, sex, candy, sugar, whatever, it was because of narcissist abuse. So a lot of you are being freed of all of your addictions merely by becoming aware of what was going on your whole life. Like, you're like, why does this keep happening to me? It was not coincidence. It was something that was being set up on purpose. And now that you can see it, you're becoming free of your addictions, because this is the root core of what your issues were. Yes, I've been healing you guys all this time throughout all these videos, and yes, I'm being quite serious. God bless you guys. Remember, click subscribe, click that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you soon.